So I'm sitting here catching up on all that's been happening, and I must admit, I've been oblivious. I truly was. I didn't think it was this bad. But after today, I see it now. And frankly, I don't know why every parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, sister, and brother isn't absolutely furious about what's happening, or shall I say, been happening in the Department of Education. Because let me tell you, this isn't just about education. This is about the future leadership crisis that no one seems to be talking about a whole generation of children affected by lousy leadership. Let's talk about what's happening in the classrooms. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was in school, we had books that taught us critical thinking, problem solving, and the whole actions have consequences thing, you know? But today, oh no, today's reading list looks like a committee of social media influencers and reality TV producers and a few unmedicated conspiracy theorists designed them. Where is the substance? Where is the intellectual rigor? Where is the substance? Once upon a time, we had To Kill a Mockingbird, Of Mice and Men, Their Eyes Were Watching God, Fahrenheit 451, books that made us think, challenge perspectives, and prepared us for leadership in a complex world. Now we've got books that read like unfiltered TikTok comment sections. And somehow we're calling this progress? How? This, I tell you, is the leadership crisis no one's talking about. And listen, this isn't about just the kids reading questionable content. This is about the long-term impact on leadership. Politics aside, because mark my words, when you water down education, when you remove logic, ethics, and historical context, you're setting up an entire generation to be unprepared, uninspired, and unequipped to lead anything, let alone a nation, an industry, or even their own lives. You cannot, let me repeat, cannot produce strong leaders from weak foundations. And yet here we are with an entire educational system that seems to be more invested in trendy ideologies than in producing critical thinkers. You want to know what that gets you? A workforce of emotionally fragile, easily manipulated, and completely unguided adults who are ill-equipped to make decisions, challenge authority, or think beyond the 280-character tweet, or X, not sure what it's called these days. Who's running this show? Now I have to ask you, who exactly runs the D.O.E? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like an education department, and it doesn't look like an education department. It looks more like an experiment in how fast we can produce a generation of underachievers. And here's the kicker, you're paying for it. Yes, our tax dollars are funding the madness. So let me get this straight. We have a declining literacy rates. We have graduates who can't do basic math without an app, and we have teachers walking out in record numbers, and the D.O.E.'s grand solution, more bureaucracy, less accountability, and let's sprinkle in some TikTok trends while we're at it. Oh, but it gets better, because apparently teachers no longer have authority, parents are treated like the enemy, and students, oh, they're running that show. Have you ever tried to lead a business, a country, or even a family without discipline? Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. It does not work. So the real call to action here is to fix it or face the consequences. Listen, Gen X, you've heard it? Yes, Gen X. We grew up in a world where accountability mattered. We knew that if we didn't study, we failed. If we didn't work, we were broke. Cause and effect, actions and consequences, basic leadership principles. And now we've got an entire system that has decided those fundamentals are too harsh. So let me ask again, why aren't you mad? Because if you're not mad now, just wait until this generation enters the workforce and realizes that life does not come with a safe space button. When they're in charge of policies, companies, and yes, our government. What do you think happens when the first real challenge hits and they're completely unequipped to handle it? We don't just have an education crisis, we have a leadership crisis in the making. And if you don't fix it now, we're all going to pay for it later. So I'll ask you one more time, why aren't you mad? Just saying.